Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Frederick, on the Illinois River, across the river from Beardstown at the Farwell Mansion. This mansion's been called a lot of things over the years. Farwell happened to be the businessman who brought goods here from Rushville and then transported them along the Illinois River. He made enough money to build this mansion back in 1867. But now for the last 3 years, it's been owned by a young couple from Rushville, and they have some very specific plans for it. And Lori Thomas, you and your husband, Brian, bought the house, and some people might have been surprised that it auctioned, that you'd show up in an auction and, gee whiz, what are we going to, I don't know, should we pay this, should we pay that? Turns out that day you just happened to have your hand up at the right time, didn't you?
I did. I still am not quite sure what I was thinking, but I just loved the house and I loved the history behind the home, and my husband and I are very interested in historic homes and preserving history for the future and for future use.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, hey, I like this place, and I put my hand up and it just didn't go down.
And you have won a house.
I won a house.
Now let's take a look at this house. When you look at this house, what do you like most about it?
Well, I personally think this house is beautiful. I like the symmetry. My favorite is the floor-to-ceiling windows.
Yeah.
I just think that is absolutely stunning and something you just don't see in modern architecture that much. So.
Now I mentioned Farwell, and he was quite a businessman. He built, I guess he built a plank road, didn't he?
Yes.
And why?
From my understanding, he built the road between Rushville and Frederick to help bring the produce from Rushville and Frederick, both pigs as well as different kinds of grains, I'm sure, but anything that could come so that it wouldn't have to go, because the mud and the road was just really bad, so the wagons and stuff couldn't get through. So he built the plank road so they could get that to Frederick, which was the port for the river to bring, produce.
And from there it could go anywhere.
Could go anywhere, yeah. This was like the place back then.
So for Rushville, this was a real boon because those products now had a market.
Yes.
And they didn't have that before.
And it's hard to imagine, but Frederick was bigger and more successful than Rushville at the time.
Well, it had access to the river.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, so here Mr. Farwell is doing okay enough to build a house like this. I've been told that there was a brick plant, a brick making company here. All these were local bricks. It's amazing.
Yep.
It's a huge place.
It is. It's very, very big. I think it's probably around 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, the rooms are big.
Italianate, of course.
We're gonna get a tour, and it just so happens your husband is a carpenter and has a construction company.
Yes.
So he gets to stay real busy, isn't he?
Yes, and one of his favorite things is historic renovation and just detailed work in general. So finished work, things like that. So he really wanted to kind of fix the place up and bring it back to life. So.
Well, congratulations. It's been 3 years. You all have done a lot of work, but there's more to do, isn't there?
There is. But like I said, we bought it, I think, because of our love for history, but I'm mostly excited about the future that this home is going to have.
Well, we're going to talk about that during this program because a young family is going to live in this, and they have very specific plans. So we'll talk about that as the program goes on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Brian, you just got volunteered.
I did indeed.
To take on this huge project, but it's not all that new. You've been working on it, haven't you?
We have. We've owned it for the past 3 years, and we've been doing some repairs, roof repairs and things of that nature to kind of winterize it and make it weatherproof. We have many repairs that need to be done, of course, just to kind of preserve it and fix it up.
Yeah,
so.
This side of the house really kind of shows a good example. If we start at the top, you can see now, we've already been on the roof today, and the roof's in pretty good shape. You've got that shored up pretty good, but just
Correct.
under the roof, you got some real problems.
We do. The house has original box gutters that have been relined with new metal, but unfortunately they do leak, and it's causing the soffit to actually rot out. So we need to fix the box gutters and then tear the soffits down and redo all that, paint them and
what about
make them look new.
About the gingerbread, the artwork
The
up
corbels up there,
Yeah.
I intend to take down and repair or replace, make new ones if we need to, and just kind of restore that architectural detail that's on the house.
It's very pretty.
It is. It's really neat.
They really went the extra mile on that. It would be very nice if you could keep it, but you can create them. If you can't save them, you can create them.
Yeah, we could reproduce them if needed, and I'm sure some of them will need to be replaced. Some of them are probably too far gone. So
there's plenty of light in that house because of these marvelous windows, but
Absolutely.
they've aged too, haven't they?
They have, and that's one of the things on our list to do. You know, you can kind of see some of the sashes on the windows have no paint on them. So we need to scrape and sand and paint them and reglaze the actual glass panels. And again, that's going to be to preserve the window itself. So
The brick's in pretty good shape.
overall, the brick is in really decent shape. There's some areas at the bottom around the perimeter of the house that you can kind of see some of the mortar has weathered. Some of the bricks need some repair, and that'll be hopefully, some tuck pointing, much needed tuck pointing.
Well, can we go inside?
Absolutely,
Let's go. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Nice big hall.
It is indeed.
There's plenty of room, which means plenty of work. Right?
Absolutely.
Plenty of wall space, plenty of floor space. Interesting, when I first came in this house, I noticed that both in this hall and in the hall upstairs, there's a big fireplace. And you don't see that in halls very often. That's usually in rooms.
Correct, yeah. And I believe these halls are so grand that the intention was to use them as living rooms. So the hallway on the first floor and the hallway on the second floor have real wood burning fireplaces, and I think the hallways would have been more for a living room.
And you've checked these. These have been used and they're usable again. aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I haven't lit a fire in them yet, but do intend to, sometime this winter perhaps.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk to the family that's going to be living here, and they're going to be heating their house with these fireplaces. So
Absolutely.
I'm sure that they'll work. Now, in the past, I guess that they've had steam heat here because you got a lot of
Yeah, originally the house, I guess in maybe the 50s, they put in a radiant heat, and we actually are going to reconnect it all. And we have a wood-fired boiler that'll sit outside, and we'll actually heat the home with the radiators.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Look at that oval doorway there. It's interesting. This is all the original woodwork.
It is.
And as you'll show me as we get into this, we get a closer look. That's faux. It's a faux, like a finish, faux finish, isn't it?
That's correct.
So it looks like walnut, but it's not. It's just it took a lot of time and effort to get that look, though, didn't it?
That's correct. A family, the Arnold family, at one time owned the house, and a man named William H. Arnold, in his 80s, refurbished the house. So he hung all the wallpaper and he redid all the woodwork, and so he did the graining and the detail to all the
the original woodwork.
Yeah, and I think originally it would have been painted.
Yeah, this is a good time to look at this. All the walls in here, the interior walls are all double brick walls.
That's correct. That is correct.
Remarkable.
From the basement all the way up to the widow's walk are 3 brick thick interior brick laid walls.
3 brick. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's another interesting feature. We talked about how this would have been a style of the times to try to round this off.
That's right.
That's a lot of extra work to do that to interior walls.
Absolutely. I think that's sort of a telltale sign of its period, how they have the radiused corners.
And the fact that the owner, the builder, had some money, 'cause he could make it ornate. I mean, he could spend it to make it ornate.
Absolutely.
And this woodwork going up the steps is just gorgeous. This banister, you didn't have to do anything to that. That was just the way it was.
Yes.
Huh?
And now I believe the stair rail and all the spindles have not been faux finished, but the treads have.
Look at that look up to the 3rd floor. Isn't that that's priceless, isn't it?
It's pretty neat.
Oh, that is really beautiful. Brian, before we go in the music room, you can get a chance a look at what you were talking about. This is the faux finish that you were talking about, and it looks like this would be textured and that this would be inset. But as a matter of fact, this is just artwork. It's just as smooth as it could be.
It is. It's quite the process, from what I've been told. It's originally it would have been painted, and then glazing would have been applied. And obviously somebody had a steady hand to draw this shadow line to make this appear to be
really cool.
Recessed. And then they would have taken a graining tool and actually drew all of the grain detail to make it look like it's real wood.
That is neat. So if we walked in the front door into the front hall, the first room on our left is what the last owner used as a music room.
That's correct.
And this would have probably been a bedroom, or it could have been a parlor.
That's right.
Who knows?
Yep.
But he used it as a music room, and I guess the family that's going to be living here will use it as a residence for one of the artists that's going to be coming in here.
I believe that's right.
But this gives you a good look at what every room has. These fireplaces that this would have been, there's a flue in here, and this would have been where, I guess, a pot-bellied stove or a wood stove or something would have been. But each one of the rooms has this, and so you would have needed it in the 1860s too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cold up here on the river.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I don't think these are not real fireplaces, so they're just flues, like you said.
Now, and you get a good look at the work you had to do in here. This was all wallpapered, was it not?
It was, and this is an original, some of the original wallpaper that used to be on the walls.
I mean, that's covered here, that's the fireplace cover.
That's correct.
Okay, so this was everywhere, and I mean, I can't say they had bad taste or anything, but I can see where you'd want to get that off there and maybe paint the walls.
Yeah, repair all the cracks.
Because the plaster's in pretty good shape, isn't it?
Overall, it's really solid. It's intact. It's not fallen off the ceiling yet, so it is in real good shape. We can repair all the cracks and paint them, I hope.
Oh, and these floor to ceiling windows. I mean, that's just. Have you tried opening those yet? Do they open?
I have not.
You haven't had the nerve to try to get them open yet, huh?
I would imagine they do open. The weights and the pulleys are all still intact, so they may be painted shut. You know, we could probably pry them open.
Just out of curiosity, I want to see if they'll open for us.
Yeah.
And then, if we can, let's go back in here. It's pretty dark, but let's try it. This, as you can see, this was probably carpeted because the floor's in really nice condition in here. I mean, this was, but this would have been, this was off a bedroom. What do you think this room would have been used for? It's kind of small.
It may have been, I think the previous owner used it as a laundry room or like a dressing room. I think there was a washer and dryer, stackable washer and dryer where the art sculpture there sits. So it's immediately off the master bedroom and the bathroom. So
yeah.
I think that's what
it would have been a dressing room,
yeah.
more likely. Okay, and there's a bathroom in here, but it goes into the master from here. So let's just sneak through here.
Correct.
And this is being used for storage right now.
It is kind of the catch-all room. Yeah, things that we intend to use or own, and
yeah, and there's some more of that faux finish on the wood window
windows
casings there.
Yeah.
And then here you got that also.
Mantle.
You got the mantle over here too, and of course here's another one of the pot-bellied stove or a stove inlet here.
Correct.
Very nice, very nice. And the other side of this house looks pretty similar to this, except there's a kitchen over there, isn't there?
Correct. Yeah, what he used as the kitchen.
Okay, let's go over that way. There's this beautiful stairway again. And you say this was the dining room, huh?
That's correct. He used this room as the dining room, had a grand table in the center of the room.
It would take it, yeah.
And buffets and china cabinets around the perimeter. And there used to be a giant crystal cake chandelier that hung from the ceiling.
Yeah.
It got sold at auction.
Oh, shucks.
And, so eventually we'll pour a new medallion and hopefully find a light to replace it. So.
Wouldn't it have been nice if nobody could afford it?
Yeah.
Or they just overlooked it or something and that could still be hanging here, but wouldn't that be something?
That would have been great. We'd have loved it.
You going to take the wallpaper off in here?
I believe this room, the wallpaper is going to stay. I think everybody agrees that it's nice, and this will be sort of the dining space again. So.
Okay. All right, and to the kitchen. Let's walk to the kitchen. And this will remain the kitchen, I guess the plan is, huh?
It will. The cabinets and things were in pretty poor shape, and so we're going to probably redesign, put cabinets around the perimeter of the room, maybe the stove on that chimney, and then use this as a functioning kitchen.
Well, it's good size. This would be really plenty of space for a big kitchen.
It would. It is. It could be an eat-in kitchen or just for food preparation.
Yeah.
And I believe this is original to the house, 1867. This would have been their,
Look at the size
cabinet.
of that.
Yeah.
That probably, I don't know if that stacks or not, but my goodness. No, it doesn't stack. That's one piece.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Setback
Moving that
hutch,
in and out. Yeah, you have to have a house this size to take something like that.
That's right.
Remarkable.
It's pretty nice. We like it.
Yeah. Well, Christy Ackman, you and your family are going to be coming up these steps a lot in future years.
We are, definitely.
We met the Thomases. They bought the house. You all have plans to live in it. You and your two daughters and your husband, Jason.
Yes.
And actually, we're going to talk about this a little more with Jason, but the point was to have this home for your family and also for visiting artists who wanted to come to the Rushville area to practice for a while and get away from things. So that's kind of a neat idea, isn't it?
It is. It's been kind of a dream of ours for a while, and we went to visit a residency program in Michigan and really got a sense of what that was like to go there with your family and get away from things. And then this opportunity presented itself, and here we are.
And you've been working, or at least Brian has it. I mean, Jason has, and I suppose you have too.
We have spent many hours wallpaper and taking down wallpaper and taking down wallpaper.
Oh my God! Well, I mean, the walls are so huge, and it was all covered in wallpaper.
It was. Yes.
It's a lot of work, and there's a lot more to do, isn't there?
There is a lot more to do, yes. But.
And when you brought your kids in here for the first time, you have 2 girls, right?
We do have 2 girls, Paige and Ella.
And you said, okay, we're going to take the 2nd floor, right? Show me what they did.
Well, we asked them if they thought they could ever live here. They've only lived in town, small town, but only in town, and they were ecstatic. And the first thing they did was run up the stairs, and they grabbed a piece of paper, and Paige said, I want this room. And so she wrote her name on a piece of paper and put it on the floor, and then Ella ran to the space that she wanted. And they
didn't fight? They didn't fight?
No, they've never had their own room. They've shared a room for a long time now, and so that was a big selling point.
Okay.
That they
Well,
could
let's
have their
go.
own room.
Now, whose room is this?
This is Paige's room.
Okay, let's go in Paige's room. Now,
And
Paige doesn't have, like I say, she shares a room now, so this is going to be a lot of space for Paige.
They have floor plans drawn out the way that they want their room, and Paige liked that she could see who was coming down the driveway, and she wouldn't have all the sunlight in her room because she wanted it kind of cave-like.
At this house, we're looking at the back of the house, and that's where the drive comes in.
Yes, that is where the drive, correct.
Yeah, okay. But boy, these must be, I don't know, it's 10 or 12 foot ceilings. I'm not sure what this is, but you're talking about a remarkable amount of space. And the little girl even has a closet. They put a closet in for her.
Yes, that's some of the wallpaper samples that they've kept from each room that they wanted to remember. So.
Okay. Well, she's certainly going to have a nice big room with big woodwork.
She definitely will.
Big woodwork. And then your family's going to have all this. This is all like family space.
We're actually going to use this as our living area. Downstairs, we've seen pictures of the Arnold family, and they actually had set up their living area around the fireplace, and this is the 2nd functioning fireplace in the house. Well, you could, because
you could have walking space back here, and you could put seating area in here. Yeah.
Easily. So our, couch and just the space to be together as a family will be in here. That
fireplace is going to get used a lot, isn't it?
It will definitely get used.
Now, is this the bathroom?
This is the bathroom.
Okay.
We will have a laundry here on the 2nd floor as well.
Okay.
For our
this
family.
Is set up the same, not to cut you off, but this is set up the same way as it is downstairs. This was like a dressing area or something.
And our plan is to put the laundry here the same as downstairs, so the residents will have their own laundry, and then we'll have access to the bathroom.
Yeah, and then the bathroom, the family will share that bathroom.
And my older daughter chose this bedroom because it was closest to the bathroom, so she could get ready first in the morning.
And this is the footprint, this is what was downstairs was the music room.
Exactly, and this will be Ella's bedroom. And so we did a lot of work in here. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see what it's going to be. That's the nice thing.
They were very excited about it.
Yeah. And then back out into the hall again, the family area. And then you've also got this over here, which is going to be another family area, huh?
This is going to be kind of a hodgepodge of a room. It's going to be a library, a den, and more importantly, an art room for our family. Jason is an artist, but both of my girls, they're into a lot of different projects, and so we need a place for them to create. So this will have all of the art supplies stored and sewing materials and the TV and just a lounge kind of area. Just a really private area for the family
and
to get
lots
away.
of wall space to hang your work.
Lots of wall space. We like to display a lot of things at our home currently, so yes, lots of wall space is really nice.
So the plan will be to sell your home in town.
That's correct.
And to move out here.
That's correct.
And like I say, Jason, who we're going to talk to next, is an art teacher,
He is an art
at
teacher,
Rushville. And you're a teacher as well.
I teach pre-K in Rushville,
Perfect. And then at some point, you may be able to use this as a deck or a sun deck or something, Wouldn't that be nice?
A private area, yes.
It's really a nice piece of property, more than 30 acres, and you can see a lot of it's been mowed and taken care of. Some of it's just woods, but a lot of it's really, really nice, and sits on this high hill overlooking the
It's nice. And you
Illinois
can't
River.
see them at the moment. We have bees on the property that are Brian's, so there are a lot of things hidden
got
around
honey.
the edges. Yes. This room at the moment is kind of a catch-all for the insulation for the attic, so it's...
Oh, you've got a lot of work to do, don't you?
We do. We were gifted the
Yeah,
insulation,
wow.
and you don't turn down a gift.
Yeah,
So
that's for sure.
we
That's
just have
for
it
sure.
stored. But
Saved
this
a
will be our
lot of money.
bedroom, back in the corner in a quiet location.
Terrific. Okay. Well, good. Good luck to you. I want to meet your husband, who's going to make a residency program, artist
Definitely.
residency program out of this. All right.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Jason, your house Looks a little different now,
Yeah,
but it was quite an estate, wasn't it?
it was.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of property. It's been a little bit neglected, but it's interesting how you fit into this whole program. The Thomases buy this at auction.
Correct.
And you know them, I guess, from way back. You guys go back a ways. And he knows that you've got a dream.
Yeah.
You want to live in the country with your family, and you want to be able to have a place where artists can go for a guest residency. And what a perfect outfit this is.
It is. It's an ideal place, and what I tell most people is that we didn't look to this home to create a residency. It kind of found us. My wife and I have been wanting to maybe do something like this for a while, and we were out here looking at the property last fall, and for some odd reason I just asked her, could you live here? Could we live here as a family in Frederick? You know, we thought if we ever moved from Rushville, we'd move to a city larger, at least the size of Macomb, and not dramatically smaller. But we felt that there was an opportunity here. We shared it with Brian and Lori, told them what we were thinking about of living here and giving artists a place to live and work for a certain period of time, and they were really excited about it. Actually, the first time we told them, they kind of laughed and didn't think we were serious. Then about a month later, we brought it back up, and Lori says, "You were serious about that?" And I said, "Absolutely."
Well, what great tenants to have. I mean, you all would be perfect out here. And, I mean, artists and residents, they don't cause a lot of trouble. That'd be kind of nice to have folks to have, you know, I mean, from the Thomases' point of view, that'd be a very good use of the property, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and we hope that it is a place that artists can find refuge from that busyness of their daily life, wherever they're coming from, and they can come here to Farwell House to work and kind of put the rest of their life on hold for a little while.
And you know this because you've done that. You're an artist yourself, and you have gone to residency programs where you can just clear your mind and just work without a lot of distractions.
It's fantastic. I mean, the residency that I participated in over the summer was 2 weeks long, and I felt that I finished about as much work as I may have if I would have had 11 to 12 months. Because I was able to work for 2 weeks uninterrupted at my own schedule, my own pace, and we want to provide that for others.
So your plan is to have the family live upstairs, and we've visited that family living area. This first floor that we toured first would be the artist's area. And so you would share a kitchen. There'd be one big kitchen, and everybody would share the kitchen, and the artists would have this space to work in, and of course they have the outdoors as well.
And that's one of that's a big plus with this is the potential for expansion, which we hope to do, and know that that's not going to be something that happens quickly, but something that we desire to see happen for the land.
That's terrific. And the plans could unfold. How soon could this
we
this
hope
become a reality?
Our plan, and it gets modified a lot, we hope to be living in here by the end of next summer, early fall. The house will by no means be finished, but it'll be livable, and then shortly after that, we hopefully by the following summer we'll have our first residence, and that's kind of what we're looking at right now. You know,
as luck would have it, you have some artwork in this house. It's in the basement, and I want to visit the basement anyway. So let's go that way.
All right.
Well, Jason, you come down to the basement, and I thought, well, gee whiz, I wonder if they have a drainage problem, or does the basement leak or something? Is that why these boats are here? These are part of your sculptural work.
They are. Yep. I work as a sculptor and use reclaimed lumber and clay. And that's what I make most of my stuff from.
What's this made of?
That is all reclaimed lumber. Actually, that was one of the first sculptures I did as a working artist, and most of that lumber came from stuff neighbors were pitching out, broken cabinets or dressers and things like
that. It's all wrapped and ready to deliver. So this is ready for the buyer, right?
That's right.
Okay, now do those boats stack like that? Is that the way they're supposed to be?
Not exactly. This is just storage for them right now.
I see. Okay.
But they do get stacked. Yes.
And then you've got a rather large project going on in here. I know this isn't the best way you'd want to show your work because it's not the way you'd have it, but let's move this way and take a look at some of these. What I see here is a menagerie of wooden suitcases. Describe this project to me.
These pieces were part of a large sculptural installation I did a couple of years ago in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it was a 2-story space that had about 60 to 70, closer to 70 pieces of luggage and old rail-style push carts for luggage and rotary telephones.
Oh my goodness.
And a lot of old incandescent lights.
Is this all part of it?
It is.
It's a huge exhibit, isn't it? It's a huge
Yes.
piece of work. And it's one piece of work, isn't it?
It gets installed as one. Yeah, U-Haul loved it. You know,
Oh,
they
I'll
made
bet
money
they
on me.
did. I'll bet they did. And is it also reclaimed wood?
All of it, yes.
That's
I
remarkable.
don't purchase any lumber. Everything.
Does it have a title?
This one was called Discern, and it was about the idea of moving throughout life and trying to figure out which direction to go and the things to listen to and what things to take with you with your luggage and what things you need to leave behind.
Sort of deciding what's important and what's not important, right?
I'm finding
Discern.
that's a theme over and over again, especially when it comes to this house.
Yeah.
What do I do?
You got a lot of
what have I
discerning
got?
to do,
Absolutely,
don't you?
sure.
Jason, thank you.
You bet.
On the top of this mansion, there used to be a widow's walk here, and as you can see, Brian's already done a lot of the work to shore this up again, so it will be again. The Frederick Mansion, the Farwell Mansion, whatever they call it here near Rushville, it'll be home again by next summer. The family that's going to move here will have moved in, and then maybe the summer after that, the artists and residents who visit this wonderful place will have a view looking out over Frederick towards Beardstown and the Illinois River. With another Illinois story at Frederick, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.